Hey guys, welcome to Home Sweet Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and I'm a homeschooling mom to one. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what we've chosen for electives for the 2024-2025 homeschool year. Now this video is a part of a collaboration hosted by Davine over at Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Shauna at Homegrown Homeschool. Be sure to check out their channels as well as the playlist that's going to be linked below because there are a bunch of moms that are getting together sharing what they're using for electives in their homeschool. Now we have been sharing for the past few weeks, so if you have missed those, we've already shared math, language arts, and family subjects. And so you may want to check out some of my past videos, and those playlists will be linked so you can see all the other moms and what they shared. Now with the family subjects, that looked different for everybody. Some people shared science and history, some shared Bible, a lot of different things. I shared history. So I've done math, language arts, and history so far for the 2024-2025 homeschool year. And I'll have like my own playlist of our curriculum linked below too if you want to watch those. So just a little background. I have a son who is finishing up his 9th grade year of homeschool. He'll be going into 10th grade. So these are his 10th grade choices. Now, I always like to say this, what I share in these videos may or may not be what we use come August. Last year, we thought we had it all together and all planned, and after 1 week, we completely changed everything. So you never know. You just never know what we're going to do. I think this is what we're going to use. I'm pretty sure all these choices are what we're going to use, but don't hold me to it, okay? We could be different people in August. That's what I always say. So this is what my son has chosen to use next year for his electives. Also, I want to say, please hit that subscribe button because I am going to be sharing our science and I'm going to be sharing geography and Bible. I think that's the last 3 things I need to share. So make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss those. But let's get into electives. Now, one of the electives is one that we started this year and it's going to go into next year. So he'll have 2 full years of it, and that is foreign language. And my son, wanted to speak Japanese. He has a huge interest in anime and manga and going to Japan, and hopefully with my husband they will go to Japan. I hate to fly, so I will not be going to Japan, but they are planning on going and I really hope that they get to. But he really wanted to learn Japanese, and so last year we used a combination of 2 things. We use TalkBox Mom. Now, I do not buy the subscription boxes. I use the book, I use the app, and it has worked perfectly well because we have learned so many phrases. My biggest thing with foreign language is I want him to be able to communicate. When you go somewhere else, you don't spend your time sitting there writing sentences to the people who live there. You want to be able to have a conversation with them. And so that's why I wanted to use TalkBox Mom, because the whole point of this is to pick phrases that you use in your everyday life and you use them in place of the English phrases. And so that's what we do. We find things that we say. Now, it might be turn off the light, close the door, go get in the car. Are you hungry? Are you sick? I feel better. Very common phrases that you would, use every day. That's how you learn how to speak, is through conversations like that. And so he has learned so much from this, and we're just going to keep going. There are a ton of phrases in here. And so, of course, we're thinking, what are some things he needs to know how to say when he goes to Japan? And so those are the kind of things we're focusing on, but also just regular stuff like don't pick your nose, or I'm not saying he picks his nose. I'm thinking of things parents say to their kids. And so you would use those in your everyday language. You practice them, you listen to them on the app, you get access to the app so that you're pronouncing it right. And you use these in place of the English words. And so we love TalkBox Mom. So Japanese will continue next year with this. Also, we like to use Learn Any Foreign Language. This is from the Thinking Tree. This is a fun schooling journal. I don't have the whole thing printed off because it is huge, but it covers a ton of topics like food, music, religion, bills and coins, compliments, weather, dancing, sadness, anger, nervousness, politics, the human body, common courtesy, world travel, tons of topics. And so I just kind of print off a section at a time. And so like this is common courtesy. So he would do 10 new words. So he would use a book, a video, or Google Translate to find 10 common words that you would use for common courtesy. You do the foreign language, like what it looks like in the foreign language, and then what the English translation is. And so you would research 10 words you might use in a conversation about common courtesy. And then here you have to look up phrases, and then you practice saying them out loud and picturing what they look like in your mind. Then there's a fun page. This was just 5 common greetings you might use. And so what I love about this is this can be used with any language. Whatever your children are interested in, adapts perfectly to this book. And then he had, like this one he didn't do, but this is make your own comic. And so you would use inspiration from the previous pages to make your own comic using common courtesy, the words that you used on your previous pages. And then you read your comic aloud. And so it has a lot of different things. You can watch a film, a documentary, or a YouTube video in your new language and write down the words that you hear. And then this is all about food, words you would need to know if you were over in another country and you were talking about food. Some phrases like, thank you for this meal. How much does that food cost? You know, he was looking at this stuff by himself. So there's just a lot of different things in here. So if you're looking for something that's pretty open-ended and can be used with any foreign language, I highly recommend this book. This is the PDF, but you can get it in print form. I'll try to link, if I can find it in printed form already, I'll try to link that, but this is the PDF. So that's what we use for foreign language. Now we do have 2 new things for next year, and we're pretty excited about them, and they're a little different, but we're excited. So the first thing, and I don't have anything to show you because it's done online, so I'll try to pop up something on the screen here that shows you what the website looks like, but it is called Aceable, and we are using it for driver's ed. Now, I learned about this from Grace and Grit. She shared it on her channel, and I looked it up, and it does work for our state. So it's not for every state. You would have to go visit it and see if your state is included. But my son will be working on taking the learner's permit test. Now, when I was learning how to drive, they printed this big, thick book, and you just studied the book and you went to take the test. But they don't do that in our state anymore. And we were trying to just, you know, learn some of it at home. But I think he would do better through something online. He loves to watch videos anyway, like on YouTube and stuff. So Aceable looked like the perfect thing. So I went and looked at it, and like I said, I'll show you the website so you can check it out. But I did write down some notes. I do plan on coming back after we have used it for a while and give you more details about it. I just don't know a ton about it now. What I do know is it's online driver's ed. So when he finishes it, he'll be able to go take his driver's ed learner's permit test. So it's a 30-hour self-paced course, so it is going to be up to him when he schedules it into his day. I'm not going to do that for him. I want him to handle when he does it. 30 hours self-paced. They use humor, engaging videos, and interactive games to help your kids learn what they need to know to take the learner's test in your state. Now remember, not every state's covered. You want to check on that. So for parents, it does provide the parents a roadmap to follow to get your kids where they need to be so they can get that learner's permit, get their hours in if needed, and then take the driving test. There's advice and tips that will help you navigate the process of getting a license. And there is a parent portal that will let you know where your kids are, you know, what are they doing, what's their progress, and see what is happening next. So you can kind of keep up with where they are. There are practice tests, so before they go take that learner's permit test, they can practice. And if you have a child like mine who gets nervous when he has to take a test, being able to practice and see what it's going to be like will be great for him. But it does walk you through every step. You take the course, you go get your permit, and then in our state, you do have to complete 40 hours of driving, like driving hours, either with a parent or a licensed adult. It doesn't matter. You can go to driving school and then you're able to go get your license. And so it walks you through all of that, and I think it's going to be just what he needs to give him that confidence to go get his learner's permit. So Aceable. So I'll leave the link to that. It is a website, and I'll leave a link to that down below. We're going to try that out. I'll let you know how it goes next year. The other thing we're going to do, now, my son is very, very interested in becoming a writer and film. He loves film. He can't get enough of the movies. He loves listening to things about authors, about directors, about producers. He loves writing and he loves film. And so we live in a very, very small town, and there's really nowhere to go to apprentice those type of people. To me, I think it's super important if you're trying to learn how to do something, is to go learn from the people who are doing that. But we live in a super small town, which I love. But there's nowhere for him to go and work under somebody who is a writer or someone that works in film. And so I had to find something, and there are very expensive film classes for teens and things like that. I've looked at them. But what I found was Masterclass. And the reason why I landed on that was it was people he has heard of. So Masterclass is a streaming platform, and I'm going to be looking at my notes. It's a streaming platform that makes it possible to watch or listen to hundreds of video lessons taught by the world's best. And there are so many categories on there. I have a feeling that I'll be using it just as much as my son will. So there's things for health and music and outdoor adventures in science and technology and sports, acting, business and entrepreneurship. There's government, food and drink, games and digital media, writing, filmmaking, all kinds of things on there. So when you have a membership to it, and it really just depends on how many ways you want to access it. Like for one device, I think it's like $10 a month. Okay, that's not bad. So the membership gets you access to a catalog of over 200 different classes. Each class has about 20 videos, it said, and they're about 10 to 15 minutes long. That's on average. And then you also get access to a workbook. We have not paid for the membership yet. I plan on starting it like in August. So what I want to do is once he uses it, I'll come back and tell you about the class that he chose, and I'll show you like the workbook and stuff that goes with it so I can give you some more information about it. So he is going to be doing the film and TV section and then the writing section. Again, that's not something I'm going to schedule for him because these are electives. I really want him to take ownership of that, and I want him to figure out what he wants to study and how he wants to handle that and fit that into his day. So I'm not going to tell him, hey, on Monday you need to go listen to Martin Scorsese talk about whatever, and then on this day you're going to go listen to Ron Howard. No, I'm going to let him look at what's offered, and he can choose it and work through it, and I'll just kind of keep an eye on what he's doing. I'll be looking at it probably over his shoulder because it's very interesting, and kind of seeing what notes he's taken and what he's learning from it, and of course we'll talk about it. So under the film and TV, and we'll probably call this like Filmmaking 101. I don't know, you just make up some elective name, right? Under film and TV, he is going to learn from people like Ron Howard, James Cameron, Jodie Foster, Martin Scorsese. There's a ton of people on there. But he can learn about filmmaking, directing, film editing, film scores, developing characters, how to pitch and write stories for film and TV, and techniques for directing your movie. And I honestly think there's no better way than for him to learn from the people who are successful at doing this. So that's what he'll work on for film and TV. And then we'll probably have an elective called creative writing. He's kind of been working on that this year, but we're really trying to let him learn from the masters here. So under writing, there are categories called craft compelling stories, editing and publishing, poetry, highlighting diversity in your writing, hone your process and voice, world building and genre writing, overcoming writer's block, vivid characters, and spark creativity and generate ideas. And he is going to learn from a ton of people in this area, including the Duffer Brothers, Margaret Atwood, LeVar Burton, who, if you were my age and we grew up watching Reading Rainbow, I mean, he's a great. Judy Blume, Neil Gaiman, which my son knows a lot about already, and James Patterson, and there's more. There's just too many to name. There's so many great people that have classes on here, and I'm so excited for him to use it. So if you've had any experience with Aceable or Masterclass, let me know. We're going to try them out and see how it goes, but that is what we have lined up for electives for my son's 10th grade year. Let me know in the comments, what are your kids choosing for electives? I love to get different ideas. You never know what's out there until somebody shares. So let me know about that in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, and as always, thank you so much for watching.